Okay, guys, in the last video, we got the bullets onto the screen. The cars are all on the screen now. It only makes sense that the next thing we need to do is make the bullets collide with the cars. All right, so I'm going to add something to the update here, and that's going to be some collision checks. So I want to check for bullet collisions. All right, so how do we go through and check for bullet collisions? So it's public void, check bullet collisions. And what I need to do is look at every bullet and see if it intersects every car to see if we're hitting any of the cars with that particular bullet. And what happens if they are touching each other? Well, then I kill both the bullet and the car. Right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to steal this loop from the cleanup, and I want to go through, first I want the bullet loop. So go through every bullet, take the bullet out of the bullets group, and I want to compare it with every car from the cars loop. Now, when I copy that loop, I'm going to have one small issue. I can't use I again. I got to use a different letter, so I'm going to just use J. It's the letter of the alphabet, right? Look, bullet I, car J. So this is going to take each and every bullet and compare it with each and every car. And if the car that I'm looking at right now dot intersects the bullet that I'm looking at right now, the bullet is B, car intersects B, then, well, what's going to happen? I'm going to kill the bullet so that it doesn't hit anything else, and I'm going to kill the car. And if I was keeping score, this might be a place where I would add some points onto the score or whatever, something like that. And that's all I need to do to get them to touch each other. Okay, let's see if that works. Save, run, check bullet collisions. Why are you upset? I must have spelled something wrong. Yeah, I missed my I there. Okay, save, run. Now as I shoot, I'm getting a chance, not getting a chance to shoot very often. There we go. Some bullets are coming flying out of my car. When they hit a other vehicle, both of them get immediately deleted. Now, okay, so yes, the collisions are working correctly, but having them both be immediately deleted, it's not so nice looking, right? It would be nice if the other car kind of like blew up or something. So I'm going to pop over to my other car class and see if I can't make that happen. This is why I separated between is dead and is ready for cleanup. I want the other car class, to actually have a bit of a delay, a bit of a time delay between being dead when it gets killed by the bullet and being removed from the game. So I want to create about a second delay there, so that I can show an explosion in its place. And what I'm going to do now, I don't have that saved. What I'm going to do is I'm going to load up an image that I want to display. Okay, here's one that I prepared earlier. I load up private static final image explosion pic. It comes from images firesmoke.png, just happened to be the file name. And I make an image view that I'm calling explosion. Now, explosion, when I create the car, I want to set up a little bit about the explosion too, because I want to add that to my group. So it's going to be super. Now remember, the sprite class is a group, so I can do .getChildren, and I can add that explosion to it as well. Except I don't want to see the explosion as soon as I create, because this is the constructor, right? I don't want to see the explosion as soon as I create the car. So I'll go explosion set visible false. I don't want to see the explosion right away. And I also need to get it into just the right place. So I found through some of my testing, if I go explosion dot, gotta spell explosion right for dot to work properly. Explosion dot set layout X to be 10, and explosion set layout Y to be 0. That put it in a place that looked pretty good on most of the cars. Why is this an error? Super doesn't have brackets on it. That's why that's an error. All right, so I'll have the explosion loaded and ready to go with every single car, just not being displayed until I kill the car. Once I kill the car, is dead should be set equal to true, and explosion set visible should also be made true. Right, so once the car is killed, the explosion becomes visible. Okay, well, it would become visible, but if I removed that vehicle from the screen right away just because it was ready for cleanup, then that wouldn't be very, very interesting because I would never see that explosion. So I want private. We're going to use a double for kind of morbid, but let's call it the death delay. And we're going to set it equal to about a second. So that car will be on screen for about 1 second before it disappears. So is dead is still going to return true or false whether the car is dead, but ready for cleanup is not going to return is dead. It's going to return whether or not the death delay is less than 0. So as soon as the car is dead, I'm going to start counting down on that death delay until it reaches 0. And when am I going to count down? I'm going to count down when the updates are done. So the last thing I need to add in here is public void update. We're overriding the update method from the sprite class. So update, you're going to be giving me a double time for that. And I still want to do the superclass update. I still want the car to move. Super update, there it is for my elapsed time. But now I also want to add into that if this car is dead. Again, sounds a little bit morbid, but if the car is dead, then I need to subtract away from my death delay so that I see it on screen. So death delay minus equals time. Okay, so when it gets killed, the instant that it gets killed, the smoke will appear. The smoke and the explosion stuff will appear, but it won't be ready for cleanup for about a second after that. And it will be counting down during the updates until it's ready to disappear. The other thing, too, that I think I might do is I might say that if he just got killed as a car, set velocity, well, it's not going to be moving anymore once I kill it. Okay, let's try that out. Bullets are coming a little bit slower than they used to. I'm not quite sure why. So the set velocity 0 actually makes them look like they're going in reverse now. And something's wrong with my death delay because they're not disappearing off screen. Yeah, okay, I feel silly. The reason that they weren't disappearing off screen, I spelled update wrong. It happens. Spell update right. This will be a override of the update method from the sprite class now. You can mark it as an override. You don't have to. That's just like a, I don't know, convenience thing. Now it should work. And there we go. Now I still feel like they look like they're moving backwards once they get hit. So I'm going to kind of set the velocity to be 200, which matches the road. So it'll look like they're going down the road. But that might slow them down a little bit if they were driving faster than the road was driving. So I try that out and just try to hit one here. That looks pretty good. They look like they actually came to a stop, but I'm still driving past them. And we're good.